Hey homegirl, I'm Neimoya Basden, and welcome to the Girl Just Heal podcast, where we talk about all things healing, personal growth, and building a healthy relationship with ourselves. In this space, we have realistic conversations, and by the end of this episode, you will be more encouraged to heal, grow, and evolve. Hey homegirl, welcome to the Girl Just Heal podcast. I'm Neimoya Basden, and Chad, listen to me. I done messed around and jumped off the porch right into these healing streets. And let me just say, baby, 'tis the season to heal, grow, and evolve because we are about to do all of that at the Girl Just Heal podcast. I just want to take a moment though to shout out to God because when I tell y'all, I have had this podcast in the vault for a long time, baby. It's been 2 years, okay? Yes, God gave me this idea in 2021, and around that time, it didn't make sense to me. So when I got the idea, I'm like, like how I'm going to talk to people about healing, and I still have areas in my life that I need to heal from. And God is like, okay, yeah, but you still gonna do it. So I'm gonna give you 2 years, get yourself together. And let me just say, we are finally here. So I just want to express my gratitude. God is the greatest. In the words of DJ Khaled, God did. He really worked this thing out. I questioned myself so much before launching this podcast. I think I've questioned myself more than I was certain or more than I was sure in my ability to do this thing. I have questioned myself way more than that. But, I am at a place in my life where I'm like, I'm going to let God lead me. Wherever He takes me, that's where I'm going. I have tried to do things on my own for a very long time, and that has gotten me nowhere. So I'm like, you know what? Let me just sit back and give God full reign over my life. And baby, look, we are here. We are here. We are about to decorate these podcast streets with all things healing, all things personal growth, building healthy relationships with ourselves, becoming the best version of ourselves, stepping out on faith, protecting our peace, setting boundaries. Like, y'all, listen, we are about to straight up heal. Like, that's it. That's the bottom line. We are about to heal. And I'm just so thankful, so very grateful. I'm excited. I can't quit smiling. And we ain't even into this episode good. And my cheeks are, when you smile so much, child, my cheeks are really feeling it. And if you're not watching on YouTube, come on over to YouTube and then you'll be able to see. Because your girl ain't stopped smiling since I cut the camera on. All right, but we gonna get into it. So first off, I do want to just start off by formally introducing the Girl Just Heal podcast. This is a safe space. So anytime you come into this space, anytime we chat, I want you to feel protected. I want you to feel like you have somebody who really has your back. Like, that is the culture that I'm trying to set with not only the Girl Just Heal podcast, but with the entire Girl Just Heal brand, because I know how important it is to have a community backing you, to have a community behind you, to have people there that's letting you know that, hey, I'm in your corner. I'm rooting for you. I know it's hard right now. I know you're going through a lot. I know you need to heal from a lot, but baby, I am here for you. And that's exactly the culture that I am going to set at the Girl Just Heal podcast and with the entire Girl Just Heal brand. Listen, I am excited about what's to come. I'm excited about all of this. I'm excited to just finally get started. Like, we are in episode 1. Wow. Oh my goodness. Wait. Chad, look, this is episode 1 of something that I wasn't even sure I was going to do. Let me tell you, Chad, I'm going to just talk about it for a minute because it helps me when I talk about it for a minute. I doubted myself so much. I went through so many emotions. I felt like I wasn't good enough. And I'm talking about the process of me launching this podcast. I felt like I wasn't good enough. Like, thoughts start creeping back in and, oh, well, ain't nobody gonna listen to you, child. Don't nobody want to hear you. And I had to lay all of that aside. I had to come to the terms that, look, if God is calling you to do something, you know the abilities that you have. You know what God placed on the inside of you. So either you going to walk in that path, or you going to let everybody around you, the outside voices, the opinions, the criticism, the judgment, or you going to let that define you and keep you stuck. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go for it. I'm going to go for it. Child, I was talking to my therapist, and she was like, what's really holding you back? Like, what? Why are you really not launching this thing? Is it because of other people, or is it because of you? And I had to self reflect. I'm like, for me, the other people, they really didn't have that much impact on me if they were talking. Like, that really didn't bother me. It was me stopping me. And I know a lot of us go through that, where we are stopping ourselves from doing something because we are afraid. We have a fear. We feel like we're not worth it. We feel like we're not enough. And God is like, if you step out, I got you. Woo, my goodness. Talk to me sweet. God is like, I got you. If you just make the first step, just make the initiative. If you do that, I got everything else, as long as you stay in my will. And I was like, man, either I'm going to trust in myself and I'm going to follow my feelings, which I have done that so long, and I see where it landed me. I didn't move. I was stuck. I was stagnant. I wasn't overcoming things. I wasn't healing from things. I wasn't like, I wasn't myself. I wasn't that best version of myself that I know God had placed on the inside of me. Or then I could step out on faith and follow God. And I said, you know what? I'll take the following God for 300, Alex. Listen, I was like, I am following God 100%. I'm taking risk 100%. And my motto for 2023 was, I'm stepping out on faith all 2023. I don't know what it's going to look like. I don't know how it's going to be. Chat, I don't know what's to come. But guess what? All I know is that I'm showing up. Come on. I am showing up. I made a vow that I am going to show up no matter how I feel, no matter how it looks, no matter if I get up, because it's going to be some days that I don't feel like doing it. It's going to be some days I just want to stay in the bed. I don't want to get out of bed. Look, I've made up my mind. I've made the decision that from this moment forward, not even just this moment forward, previous moments, but I'm making this declaration with you all here at the Girl Just Heal Pod. From this moment forward, I'm stepping out on faith. I'm following God's will for my life. I'm giving all my plans up. All my plans. Like, God, is just me and you. So what's up? Like, what we gonna do? And for starters, y'all, we about to decorate these podcast streets with healing. We about to decorate these podcast streets with growth. We are about to evolve. We are about to become that version of us that people said we can't become. We are about to become that version of us that nobody believed in when they knew what you used to do in your past. We are about to become that version of us that we have been hiding deep down on the inside of us. We have been putting it away. We have been keeping it in a closet, keeping it locked up in a safe, because we were afraid of who we was going to become. But baby, no more. We are becoming her. Whoever she is that you are supposed to be, baby, that's who we are becoming here. Okay, so look, Chad, because I can keep going on, but you know what? That ain't even all we going to talk about today. But I am just, man, I'm grateful. I have so much gratitude, and it feels good to be here. Like, it really feels good to be doing something that, for one, I know God has called me to do, and to be following God's plan, to have face fear head on. Oh my goodness. That is the best feeling in the world, when you can face fear head on and you make the decision and say, you know what? I know how it looks. I know how it seems, but I'm still finna do it. So, with that said, I hope you are ready to get busy in these podcast streets, because we are about to do some healing. And that brings us into what I want to talk about today. So, In the Girl Just Heal Facebook community, and if you are not a part of that community, let me just put this shameless plug in there. If you are not a part of the Girl Just Heal Facebook community, this is a private community filled with women who are ready to heal, grow, and evolve into the best version of themselves. Join the community. I've dropped a link in the description of this episode for easier access. Click that link and go ahead, join the community. I promise you will not regret it. This community is ever growing, it's ever evolving, and we just about to turn up a notch. We're gonna have exclusive stuff in the community. Like, I don't even know what's all to come, but I know that this community is about to be lit. So make sure you join the community. But in the community, I asked a question. And I asked the question, do you agree or disagree with the statement or the proverb, time heals all wounds? And then I wanted them to explain why or why not. So I want to read a couple of the answers or the comments that was put on the post. So one of the homegirls said, I definitely disagree because it's certain times of the year that my body has its way of reminding me of what happened at that time of the year. And I just want to pause there because I feel that so much, because a lot of times we think that when we go through things, that all right, well, in a year it might not come back up, we gonna heal from this, but then a year later it comes back up because something has jogged your memory. Something has reminded you of what happened in the past. Something has reminded you that, hey, you, even though it's not hurting, you still have this scar here. And sometimes if we don't deal with that properly, it'll take us back into that mold or back into that space that we tried to come out of. And I feel the homegirl when she said this, because I'm like, for me personally, with some things that happened in my life, it's certain times of the year that I would just get down bad. Like, I would be so sad and I would wonder why. And at the moment I wouldn't know. And then as I sit and like I'm sitting in those emotions, then it comes back up and I'm like, this is why. So it really makes you think, does time really heal all wounds? So I really like that. And now I'm going to read this other one from a different homegirl. She said, I think we are healed by the stripes of Jesus. Whew, come on, come through, Son of God. Physically, mentally, emotionally, and even spiritual wounds, but the scars remain. Ooh, my goodness, come on, yes. And through time, those scars often remind us of what we went through, not to bring back the hurt, but to remind us from what God healed us. This is a reminder to go out and tell our story, because someone out there needs to hear that story so that they can be encouraged and so that they too can be healed. Come on. Whoop, Chad, look, I ain't even done reading her comment, but I can just go in on it. Let me finish, because I can just go in on that. Come on, tell your story. Be that light. You don't know who else needs to hear your story. And I dealt with it for a long time when I was afraid to speak up about things I've been through, because I'm like, well, people gonna judge me, they gonna criticize me. Child, look, I'm from a small town where everybody know everybody business and people think they know your business better than you. And I always felt like when I overcame the things that I went through, that by me speaking out, I'm like, these people know who I used to be. And God is like, they may know who you used to be, but when you come to me and you give your life to me, you live by my rules, by my law, I'm going to make you a new person. And I had to understand that. But for the longest, it stopped me from speaking out and telling my story. And I'm like, so many lives could have been lost because I was intimidated to speak out. So what she said is just, it's so fitting, and it's just truth, because we have to tell our stories, because we don't know who out there need to hear it. All right. She continues to say, so they can be, okay, let me go back. She said, this is the reminder to go out and tell our story, because someone out there needs to hear that story so that they can be encouraged and so they too can be healed, so they can be reminded, so they can go out and do the same. It's a domino effect. Come through, dominoes. Y'all, this comment is so good to me. She say it's a domino effect. And listen, let me take a pause right there because she did say so that they can be reminded, so they can go out and do the same. Now, let me just insert this. I never want anybody to feel pressured to go out and tell your story because I understand that that is not the conviction for everybody. Somebody may be able, like, I can tell my story. I have the courage now to tell my story. But that doesn't mean that somebody else gonna have that same courage to tell their story. So we have to be graceful with people and understand that during the healing process and our healing journeys are gonna be different. Each of our healing journeys are going to be different. We going to require different things, and sometimes people aren't ready to tell their story. So just make sure as we're going out and we are helping people overcome things, some people may not be ready to tell their story. I did want to just put that in there because I've experienced in the past, people like, well, I mean, you tell your story, but I can't tell my story. And they felt bad because they didn't have the courage to tell their story. And I'm like, baby, you ain't got to tell your story. You don't have to tell your story. Tell your story when God releases you to tell your story, when he puts it on your heart to tell your story. Some people just don't like talking to people. Some people just don't like being vocal. And that's okay. Let people heal in their own time at their own pace. All right. So the last part of her comment, y'all, it was pretty long, but this is the last part. It says, so she said, I was healed out of depression and anxiety. Whoo, child, this girl. Okay. I help you find healing from yours. You help her find healing from hers, and so on. Child, that comment just took me to church. Let me tell you, that ending part, I ain't gonna even get into it all because that's a whole nother episode. But that ending part, she said she was healed from anxiety and depression. Child, I know something about that. But she didn't stop right there. She said she was healed so she can help somebody else heal. And then that person gonna be healed so they can help somebody else heal. Us here at the Girl Just Heal podcast, I didn't heal from some stuff. Me personally, I've healed from some stuff. And I'm here to help you heal from some stuff so that when you heal from some stuff, you can help her heal from some stuff. And then she can help somebody else. Oh my goodness. Oh, child, I got to contain myself because that's deep. And your girl is ready to go to church over here because, child, look. That is deep. A domino effect is the right analogy for that. We gonna help each other come out of that hole that we have been in. We gonna help each other heal because that's what it's all about. We can't do it by ourselves. This ain't a one woman show. I'm not here to come and be like, oh, I got all the answers. You need to come to me. And if you got a question about anything, I'm gonna answer that for you, baby. As I'm encouraging you, I'm encouraging myself. As I'm helping you heal, guess what? You helping me heal. I'm not here as somebody who got all the answers. Baby, we in this thing together. We are a community for a reason because we are helping each other heal. All right, so I do want to elaborate on where I stand with the proverb, time heals all wounds. But before I get into my position on the statement, I am interested in hearing how you feel about that. So leave me a comment in the comment section of this episode, just letting me know how you feel about the proverb, time heals all wounds. Whether you disagree, whether you agree, whether you are neutral, I want to hear how you feel about it, okay? So my standpoint is I agree with the statement, time heals all wounds. But I feel like just saying the statement, time heals all wounds, and then dropping the mic, I feel like that's not enough, especially when people are going through something. Because time has the ability to heal all wounds, but if you're not doing nothing within whatever time frame is allotted, you won't be healed. Whew. Let me break this down. So for me, for instance, I went through, something in my life and I looked up, it was 5 years later, and I still felt that this thing was fresh. It was like fresh in my mind. I couldn't stop thinking about it. It felt like it happened yesterday. And I'm like, why is this thing so new to me? And it happened 5 years ago. And then one day I woke up and I realized that you ain't been nurturing this wound. You ain't been taking care of this scar within these 5 years. And that's why it still feels fresh. So one would think that 5 years has gone by and I should be healed from this. But I didn't put in the work in those 5 years. And healing is no different than anything we do in life. We got to put in the work if we want to be healed. You can't just say, time gonna heal all wounds. And let me look, I don't like when people say that to me. And I'm not being mean. I'm not being harsh. I know you come from a good place. I know people may mean well. But don't come up to me and tell me time is going to heal all wounds and then just drop the mic, turn around and leave. And I'm thinking that, okay, well, since time going to heal all wounds, then I can just go on with my life. It ain't going to work like that. But I need you to tell me time has the ability to heal all wounds. But baby, if you ain't putting in the work, then that wound gonna be there. That wound gonna be fresh. You gonna always think about it. You gonna be hurting. You ain't gonna be able to heal. You ain't gonna overcome that because you ain't doing the work that's required for you to overcome it. And we have to be open. We have to be honest about things like that, especially during the healing process, because healing is such a gentle and fragile process. Healing is so fragile. And I say that because every person gonna need something different. But healing, you have to approach somebody that's healing with caution. You got to approach them with caution because you don't want to do nothing or say nothing that's going to send them back to the place that they worked so hard to crawl out of. You don't want to do that. So you have to approach them with caution. So if I go to somebody come to me and they say, man, Neimoya, something happened to me 2 months ago and I need to heal from this and I don't know how I'm going to heal from this. I wouldn't dare tell them time going to heal all wounds. Don't worry about it. You're going to be better in a month. And then I leave them at that. But then that month come and they are in worse condition than they were when they first came to me because that stuff has sat. It has marinated. You ain't take care of it. You just let it go bad. And then you wondering why now I feel this kind of way. Now depression creeping in. Now anxiety creeping in. Because within that month's time, you didn't nurture that scar. You didn't nurture that wound properly. You didn't take care of it. And so for me, with the statement, time heals all wounds, I do agree with the statement. But I am a big stickler for don't just tell people time heals all wounds because people need to know that they got to put in the work. Sometimes that statement can be misleading because people hear that statement and they be like, oh, okay, well, since time going to heal all wounds, then I know in 3 months I'm going to be better. And when 3 months come, they ain't better. And then they mad. And then they go even deeper into this world of depression and anxiety. They get even more frustrated, even more stressed because they wasn't told that, hey, time has the ability to heal all wounds. But if you ain't putting in that work, then it ain't going to heal all wounds. You might have to read some scriptures. That's what it may look like for you. You may have to affirm yourself in the mirror. You may have to turn on some podcasts. Hello, girl, just here. You may have to do certain things. You may have to read some books. You may have to spend some quiet time with God and pray and fast. Whatever it is that you got to do, that's your process. That's your journey. But make sure that you are taking care of yourself. Make sure you feeding your soul. Make sure you are feeding your soul. I can't get that across enough. Make sure that you are feeding your mind because we know the mind, oh my goodness, our mind has the ability to keep us in a place for so long. Whether that's a good place or a bad place, our mind has the ability to do that. So we have to make sure that we are nurturing our mind, filling ourselves up. If you feel like You can't heal from a certain thing. You need to get in the mirror and affirm yourself. I am healed. I will overcome this. I can get through this. I will get through this. Get in the mirror and affirm yourself. And make sure you're filling yourself up, because the last thing you want to do is just be riding on the statement, time heals all wounds, and you ain't do no work. And then you look up and all these years go by, all these months go by, and you are still damaged. You are still broken because you didn't take care of your wounds and your scars appropriately. So that is all I have for this episode. We are through episode 1. And, ooh, child, listen, let me know how you like this episode. Let me know in the comments your thoughts on this episode. Man, I'm just filled with so much gratitude. So we are going to close out every episode of the podcast with the Girl Just Heal mantra. This mantra is an affirmation, okay? So I want you to write it down, put it on your mirror, put it in your phone, and I want you to just repeat this daily, all right? So the mantra is this: I accept myself for who I am. I free myself from all fear, and today I choose to heal. Ooh, child, listen, hold up. We got to run that back. We got to say that again. I accept myself for who I am. I free myself from all fear, and today I choose to heal. That is it for this episode. I'm Neimoya Basden, and until we speak again, girl, just heal. All right, homegirl, thank you for tuning in to the Girl Just Heal podcast. We want to make sure that we continue supporting you during your healing journey. So be sure to use our hashtag Girl Just Heal on all social media platforms. Connect with us on Instagram and TikTok at Girl Just Heal, and join our private Girl Just Heal Facebook community so that you can continue to heal, grow, and evolve.